People should speak out and speak up if they see inequality and injustice. Now, that's a big request I'm making, and I know that. It's something that I have done.
Hello and welcome to a whole new episode of Engati CX. I'm your host Kimberly and we're really glad to have all of you join us today. On this show, we talk to CX and technology experts from around the world. We explore, uncover, and share fresh insights on creating experiences that your customers will remember and look forward to. Engati is the world's leading multilingual, no-code digital CX platform available across 14 channels with 45,000 solutions created across 186 countries in every domain and use case. Engati has also been recognized as a top platform by Inc. magazine, Tech World, CIO magazine, and many others. Engati has also won the Cody Award for the best AI-driven technology solution for 2021. We run the Engati blog, the video channel, and the Engati CX podcast, receiving upwards of 400,000 visitors annually. And now for our guest. Jennifer Stirrup is the founder and the CEO of Data Relish, a UK-based AI and business intelligence leadership consultancy delivering data strategy and business-focused solutions. Jen is a recognized leading authority in AI and business intelligence leader and is a global keynote speaker. She is also an award winning and an internationally recognized digital transformation influencer. Welcome to the show, Jen. We're so glad to have you join us today.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. Thank you to you and to the Engati team for hosting me today. I appreciate being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. But before we dive into our interview with Jen, don't forget to subscribe to Engati and tap the bell icon to get access to exclusive content coming from thought leaders from around the globe. Well, Jen, let's dive into our first question. We would really like to know what is the future of customer service and how is it related to AI?
I think it's actually essential that every business focuses on their customer. Now, artificial intelligence can really support you to engage with your customers, and that's both for B2B and B2C as well. I think you will see the advent of C-commerce coming more commonly. Now, at the moment, we live in an environment of e-commerce, and that's been around for some time. People engaged with customers over email and marketing campaigns. Now we're seeing the rise of a very customer-oriented commerce. It's not good enough just to sell a product to your customers. Customers expect to engage with you. They expect that you are really giving them a personalized message and something that's really meaningful to them. So they engage with brands, and to do that, you have to offer them a new visionary type of service. So the advent of C-commerce will become more important. It's really like e-commerce, but the next stage, the next phase. So that means engaging, for example, with personalized chatbots, or perhaps even identifying what customers need before they buy it, and then giving them very tailored messages. We know that people use messaging systems in order to interact with the customers, and you will see that happening more frequently. So I would recommend that customers get engaged through these channels, but businesses need to be ready. The time to do that is right now. So how can artificial intelligence help? It depends how much artificial intelligence you'd like to expose the customer to. But over time, I think we will see that organizations will increasingly use artificial intelligence and customers will be more likely to accept it. Say, for example, you say to a chatbot, give me a present for a 10-year-old girl for her birthday. It should be under $30 and it should be delivered to this address. The chatbot should be able to go away, check out some great recommendations, take the payment, and order the birthday present for you, all within a few sentences. And that sentence could be text or perhaps even in the future, even spoken. So these are the scenarios that businesses will have to think about. And artificial intelligence, particularly with chatbots, is a crucial way forward.
Yes, very well said, Jen. Talking about AI and automation, what do low code and no code mean for businesses, and what exactly is it in for diversity and inclusion generally?
Traditionally, coding has been hard, and it's been the remit of people who could afford to go to university and spend 4 years learning to code. Now, what we see more frequently are people doing boot camps online, so they learn in a very intense short period of time how to code. But the advent of coding means that we are now seeing more low code, no code solutions. So that's lowering the barrier of entry for people to get involved in technology. So we hope to see that technology will become more inclusive and more available and accessible to people from different backgrounds, not just those who can afford to go to university and who take degrees in this topic, but people who care about customer service and can see different ways that we can increase and improve customer service by using low code and no code solutions to get technology servicing customers more quickly and in the ways that customers really want. So I think low code and no code solutions are great levelers in terms of getting people involved in AI, regardless of their background and opportunities.
Well, it is very thoughtful of you kind of putting the low code and no code functionality into diversity. It kind of actually helps a lot of folks to kind of have access to such kind of technology. Jen, we have heard your voice around diversity and inclusion. We would like to know your expert opinion on what are some best practices for organizations to adopt to create more inclusive workspaces.
First of all, I would have a look to see what opportunities are offered to support you in your diversity and inclusion opportunity in the workplace. At Data Relish, we have just signed up for a government approved scheme to show that we are diversity and confident. The name of the scheme is actually called Disability Confident. And the idea is that we try to ensure that our workspace and our terms and conditions are friendly to people who, who have disabilities. So my office, for example, is has a door wide enough for a wheelchair. The office itself is near the disabled toilet and also near the entrance. So there are things that you can do to make things easier for people who have disabilities. And we signed up for that government scheme to make sure that we were ticking all the boxes to make sure we could support people and also to make ourselves more attractive to people who have disabilities who would like to enter the workforce. So I think for us, it's a real win-win. It means that we get more people applying to work with us, and those people, I believe, will bring so much to what we're trying to do. I believe passionately in diversity and inclusion. It's great from a personal and social impact standpoint, but it's also about helping businesses to help customers as well. I went into business to help people, and running a business helps me to do that. It just in a unique and different way. So at Data Relish, our diversity and inclusion impetus is really driven by the fact that as the leader, I'm focused on helping people, helping customers, and helping employees. That way, it's like we are all small boats on the tide, and we're all lifting each other up. And that's so important.
Yes.
So, to get started, I think people should think about what opportunities the governments and local councils will offer and local committees. I know in the UK we have the Chamber of Commerce, which is a federation of small and medium-sized businesses. And perhaps where everyone else is in the world listening to this, you may have a similar organisation who you can contact for support, ideas, and advice to get started.
Yes, that is actually very nice to know that many businesses are being open to adapting such kind of facilities, right? So, how exactly or what how would you term it as being important in the AI and the tech world? What change do you think will this bring in companies' cultures?
I think that the organisations that will succeed will be the ones who really answer a business problem and who can really solve that business problem. And the only way we can do that is by listening and serving customers better. AI will bring big changes in society. That's just how it is. I think people's jobs will change. I don't think people will lose jobs, but I think things are likely to change. And diversity and inclusion helps you to understand your customers better, because the ones who understand customers better are the ones who will survive, particularly in this time of the pandemic and the lockdown. It's more important than ever to try and help one another. And one way of doing that is to try and find different ways of supporting customers where they are. I think many businesses have pivoted marvelously in a process of digital transformation throughout the pandemic, but many did not survive. And the problem with that is that sometimes you can optimize your website, you can do all the marketing, you can have as much SEO as you like. But if you are not solving a problem, then customers won't be looking for your website because you're not offering anything to them. So that's why sometimes people do the wrong thing with marketing, for example. They're all about SEO and trying to improve their website, but maybe it's not the website that needs improved. Maybe it's the customer offering and solving a problem. So, diversity and inclusion, particularly with AI, will increase automation and hopefully improve accessibility so that more people can be involved and nobody is left behind.
Yes, that is indeed a very a nice thing to kind of put technology and cultures together. How would you ensure, as a person, in adding inclusion in a community? Any personal projects that you would like to share with us?
Yes, I have talked about diversity and inclusion for a long time. I did set up a code of conduct for community organisations to use. It wasn't well adopted, but it is on GitHub, and I hope that some of the learnings from that will help other people to adopt and to use it. I think we have to break the model of conferences in some way. We have to stop just putting one person up on the podium and everybody listening, and then everyone goes home again. We need much more of a social ethos at community events, particularly now we're starting to go back to in person events. There are ways we can do that. So I achieved 50% gender equality at one of my events. And that's really uncommon in the tech world to find 50-50 split between male and female speakers. And at another event, I had a transgender individual deliver the keynote. Now, the way that I do that is I reach out to these communities, and having one person stand in front of a podium and address hundreds of people can be really nerve-wracking. And it also requires an investment of time that not everybody has. So it's not an equal playing field. I'd like to suggest conferences think more about roundtables hosted by men and women. I found it was much more easy to get women to lead a roundtable because there's an emphasis on collaboration, facilitation, and communication. And in these spheres, having women as leaders is actually really important because they are accustomed to collaborating and not competing. So I think inclusion in the tech community needs to remove competition and focus more on collaboration. And that will really encourage people from different backgrounds to come forward.
Well, Jen, this is truly inspiring, and I'm sure that all these activities that you mentioned has created a huge impact. And I'm sure there must have been few businesses that went back and said that, this is where we're going to start. So thank you for giving us these amazing insights and these small pointers, which I think all businesses should keep in mind. I think it all starts from home. The moment you start behaving well with your fellow colleagues and kind of having small things, I think it does make us a big difference. Is there anything else you would like to share with our audience, Jennifer?
I'd like to share that people should speak out and speak up if they see inequality and injustice. Now, that's a big request I'm making, and I know that. It's something that I have done. Now, when you do that, people will be angry because you are speaking up. But your freedom is more important than their anger.
Very well.
And I think that's really important. People will see your integrity. They may not tell you, and they may never even talk to you, but they will feel your light shine out if you do the right things.
Yes, that is indeed something that I am going to keep to myself as well. Thank you so much, Jen, for giving us your time. Your insights were really valuable. And I know our audience is going to enjoy this interview as much as I did.
Thank you so much for having me, Kimberly, and thank you also to the rest of the Engati team for their support in making this happen. But a big thanks especially to you, Kimberly. Thank you for all your support and help.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of our community. We'll be back again with a new episode and a brand new experts too. So stay tuned and we'll see you around for the next one.